Hi, I'm Amy Porter. Some of you know me as a flutist and a classical musician, others as a professor, and some of you know me as a publisher and arranger. I'm a stepmom, I'm a business owner, and I'm the founder of a couple of nonprofits, and this is my podcast. My core mission as an entrepreneur is to appreciate what I have around me, and then I try and see as clearly as possible how I can help. So let's talk, let's share information, let's laugh and sometimes cry over the things that we have to work through in life and in music, in business and family and relationships. Come on into my Porter Flute pod. Welcome to Porter Flute Pod. This is episode 3 in our second season, and we're pairing etudes with pieces. This week we'll feature my look into Ravel's Daphnis and Chloe through Bozza Arabesque Etude number 14. In the pod with me, but not at the piano, are Justine Sedke and Alan J. Tomasetti. Why am I at the piano? It is, by the way, my own Baldwin 1964 piano. I apologize, it's a little out of tune. See, I'm interested in having everyone map out their plan for this excerpt. This piano part is the orchestra part. So I know until I mapped out a plan, I was completely lost. So if you're lost like I was, get out your part. Get out the score, get out Miss Baxtresser's book, and sit at a piano. If you're not a flutist, you'll find it interesting that musicians have so many creative options. Welcome to Porter Flute Pod. I'm so glad you're here. Let's begin with the sunrise. Think in 12, but count in 4. Watch the conductor carefully. If you're playing the second flute part, make more of a palm to facilitate that low register technique. Bring your arm around from the back. In the motive of 12 notes, try the grouping of 1, 2, 2, 2, 5. I play all these parts and recorded them together without a metronome to make sure that I stay with the big beat. I would highly advise everyone to learn all the parts of this incredible work. The second flute should be subordinate in tone. In her book, Great Flute Duos from the Orchestral Repertoire, Jean Baxtresser writes, the first section is to be played at a soft, dynamic level without accents and with perfectly calibrated 30-second notes. When composers write etudes, they have specific pieces in mind. They have specific key signatures in mind and rhythmic challenges in mind. In this case, Eugene Bozza wrote 14 Arabesque Etudes, and the 14th one directly relates to Maurice Ravel's Daphnis and Chloe and this sunrise opening. So take a listen. It's exciting to play the piccolo solo in this piece. We get excited and then we add all of our energy and we get sharp and we get a little frantic. So make sure that you're just singing and you're thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Here's a great assignment. After the solo for the principal flute, take all those scales for the 2 flutes that follow and learn them as one major etude. That's right. Take both flute parts after the solo and all those scales and make them all etudes. Make the octave sections, play both the first and the second flute part, and make that your study. It's very, very easy to turn everything into an etude. At 176, we find ourselves with the solo that we've practiced our entire life. This solo deserves a lifetime of practice. We have to go and find out what makes us sound good in this piece. Don't go searching for the sound you're supposed to have. Find the sound you have and then match it to the piece. I remember shopping almost for a high G sharp. The fingering was different from the one everyone else used. I had to have the fingers down for a while, and now I'm not using the fingers down in the right hand for the high G sharp. Don't forget, you have the high G sharps, and then you have the D flats, then you come down into the Bs, lots of Bs. So tune all those neighborhoods, all those notes, all those octaves. Make sure you're vibrating and then choosing where you're not going to vibrate. Make sure that the opening is piano, and then the mezzo forte section should sound alto quality. Just make sure that you have the freedom of expression that you need, and you're following the conductor. In this section, make sure you take a lot of air in because you're going to have to go a long way on one breath. I've had the great fortune to record major orchestral repertoire on the alto flute. I was associate principal flute of the Atlanta Symphony from 1991 to 1999, and boy, did I get a great education in alto flute playing. I have a suggestion for this amazing solo here. When you come cascading down the scale and you're playing your heart out, it takes a lot of air, right? When the strings come in with the trill, take a breath. I'm going to show you by example, but then you come back in and you're actually pretty substantial. Then the orchestra cuts off, and then it happens again. You have to sing as loud as possible in this big alto flute sound. Well, when they come in with that trill, that splash, that sforzando, quick, take a breath and come back in. Only the second time, you cultivate that diminuendo and just make everybody think you just played the longest phrase in the world. All in one breath. When you see Daphnis and Chloe Suite Number 2 appear on a repertoire list for a major audition, then you're sure that it's the entire piece. It really is. They're not just talking about the opening sunrise and the solo. They want also the last 3 pages. Boy, those are hard. They will keep you busy for years. With all the technique that's involved in the last 3 pages, you can be sure you can find an etude and build an etude and do all your scales and warm-ups surrounding the last 3 pages. So I'm glad you were here to join me in this very brief but interesting project of recording all the parts. I encourage you to do the same. Join us in our next podcast when we meet Dave Shaw. He's my engineer of over 20 years. It's Business 101, and it's talking about microphones and our recording spaces. It's good to know about, especially at this time. You can find me at both my websites, amyporter.com and porterflute.com. On Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, I'm Porter Flute. Thanks for being here. I'm so grateful for you.